Bring up King. And he smells good too.
Wow, thank you. I'm very grateful to be here. I'm very humble to be standing here in front of every one of you. You know, to have a company where the foundation and the root is well established, very deep and strong. It gives me a privilege. You know, sometimes, I've been through so many companies, but I've never seen a company where the leadership, the people you call the pioneers, they're so humble themselves. I remember talking to Roxanne, and she didn't really understand why I was asking the question. I tell people, I'm like, how do I say, human psychology. I study human beings like lab rats to be able to understand why people do what they do. And while I was talking to her, she was like, oh, I just go out there and I just feed them. And she didn't really even understand why, such a thing. You don't really hear, things like this often. And I even talked to James, and he said, oh, I just go there, drive my car, and I just feed them. And I was like, wow. I travel company from companies, talking to even Argo. These people, they take their time. They say the only way you know how great a society is how they treat the less fortunate.
Right. Amen.
And most of the time, if the least among us suffer, we all suffer. We don't really know this, that we're all connected and that we're all one. I came and then they told me, like, hey, we just want you to come share some few words of wisdom. I didn't really come prepared for it. But when you are able to take care, they say when you become your brother's keeper,
Right.
then that is when you really acquire deeper fulfillment within. There's a guy by the name of Steve Covey. They say why success does not fulfill. Most people, they achieve the tabernacles of success, and sometimes they still feel empty.
Right.
The emptiness is coming from a place because they did not look into the spiritual aspect. Who are we? Where do we come from? And where are we going? Most human beings, they live their life never asking themselves these questions. And so that's why they feel frustrated, they feel stressed, they feel out of place. But when you begin to ask the question, who am I? Are you just this blood, flesh, and bone? And the answer is no, you're not. You're pure spirit. And if you understand the aspect of spirit, what spirit does is that water cannot wet it. Hand cannot touch it. It is never born and it never dies. And if you understand that aspect, you can create true magic in your world, in your life. The great people in the world who've ever discovered this, the people who seek within. That's why the great philosophers, they always said, the greatest thing one can do for themselves is not achieve success, it's know thyself. Because when you know you, and you know you, and you know you, no one can stop you. So I'm telling you to say this. Go within your own self and ask yourself, who am I? Go within yourself and become your own best friend. You know what a lot of us, most of the time we do is we run away from ourselves. We're constantly spending time with every single person but ourselves. That's why most people, they're like, oh, I'm stressed, I have anxiety, I have this. Because they don't know who they are. The day I discovered who I was, that I am God.
Teach.
And I'm here to tell you that you are God. But the question is, do you know it? I know it. That's why I carry myself a certain way. I don't eat shit. I don't talk shit. I don't do shit. I respect myself with love and respect. And I'm willing to always go the extra mile within my own self. To always push myself. Always pushing myself a little bit more. There's always more you can do. We live in a world now that people are becoming so mediocre. They're neglecting themselves and wanting doctors to take care of them. They're giving their power away. Let's look at animals. Animals don't go to the doctors, correct? We say we are more smart and more intelligent than them. My grandfather told me to promise him something. He said, son, I want you to never ever look up to man for anything. He said the greatest teacher is nature.
That's
He
right.
said it's all perfect. If you look at nature at its best, when an animal is sick, it knows how to heal itself.
Yes, it does.
It doesn't go to, even if you take a baby bird, a baby animal, it doesn't go to its mom and say, Mom, I'm sick. Right within its DNA is a code embedded.
Right.
It knows how to heal itself, even as a baby animal. So I'm telling you today to go within your DNA. That from the day you were born, you came equipped, ready to take over the world.
My Lord.
You are God in this form. Don't give your power away. There's nothing you can be, do, or have. You just need to go within. So what I normally do is in the morning before I start my everyday, so I can achieve success, I do what we call meditation. I know some people have a bad connotation about meditation. I quiet my mind. I sit still by myself. So it allows me to go inside. For me, going within, it means creating an empty cup. I try not to worry. They say prayer is me talking to God, then meditation. Or stillness is God talking to me. Would I want to be talking to God if God created me? Or would I want God to talk to me? So I let myself be filled by the divine.
Oh, yes.
And all the great minds in history that have always let themselves be led by God. I know a lot of people were asking me, what is it that you keep doing this? I'm always praying, I'm always chanting. I tell people the greatest thing that can ever happen to a person is adversity. It's when people stab you in the back. I heard a lot of stories and people like, oh, my family is not on my side. That is the greatest thing that can happen to you. I heard James' story. He was in jail, he was locked up. But if you begin to look at the world, all the greatest ideas that were ever born were born in jail. Go look at it. And you do not have to go to jail to give birth to a dancing star. You can create your own jail while you are free. And if you do that for yourself, you'll give birth to that dancing star without going to jail ever. For you are God. You must know this. If you ask a child, like what Hassan was saying, what do they want for Christmas? They have all these things. But guess what? They don't even care to know where the money is going to come from.
Right.
They say the birds, they don't plant, they don't sow no seeds. But their Heavenly Father feeds them.
Oh, yes.
Aren't you more than birds and animals? Aren't you children of the Most High?
Oh, yes.
Why are you doubting yourself? The biggest lie that was ever given to us is that there's limitation. If you step outside, you see the grass. You look at the branches. You look at the leaves. These things are all abundance. You can't count the grain. You can't count the sand in the seashore.
My Lord.
You can't count it. You can't count the air. You can't count the trees. Because all of these things are limitless. Every single thing God creates is limitless. So I'm saying this to say that there's abundance everywhere.
Oh, yes.
We've been lied that is not abundance. So a lot of us, we live our lives stressing and struggling. You see, everything in nature functions with something called the law of least effort. We are born, they don't give us the manual to this life. Our job is to come and to write our own manual.
Wow.
Our job is to come and to begin to understand the universal principles. Understand the law so you're not going against gravity, you're going with it. They say a wise man does not go against the wind, he goes with it. So everything functions with least effort. If you look at a stream, it doesn't go upstream ever. Everything goes downstream because that is least effort. You want to tap into that. You want to stop stressing. You want to stop struggling. Every single thing in nature, they don't struggle. When you look at your cats, they have a sense of knowing that you will feed it. You need to come to this realization for your own self. Because when you know this, the gods of the universe, the Meteora will rock your world. It always does. But you must come to know. They say when you know and you know and you know and you know, no man can take away this kind of knowing. So I encourage you today to come to this place of knowing. Even the business, come to know it. Speak the business. Talk it. Do it. When you're so wrapped up into what you do, time ceases to exist. When you love what you do, if you do not love this, you don't want to do something you don't love. But you know one thing about humans? We have something called adaptogens. We can create situations in every single circumstance. I want you to create a new love for something. Tell yourself, I love this business.
I love this business.
I love it.
I love it. I sure do.
And if you do that, when you create love for it, it will love you in return.
Wow.
People say, how do I stay grounded? I stay grounded by always reminding myself that there's a homeless man down the street. Why am I worrying? And if I worry, what is the least or what is the most that can happen to a human being? Die? Someone already died. Be homeless? Someone is already homeless. When you stop to fear death and you stop to fear losing, then the hand of God is stretched to you. Because God does not live in the comfort. He lives where you are feeling uncomfortable. God does not live in the mediocre, your everyday mundane. That is why it is very important you put yourself in a place where you are feeling a little bit uncomfortable. Because one thing about God, He always wants to prove Himself. When you come to understand that, your whole life, the universe opens up to you. Everything I'm saying is not magical or mystical. This is what the saints, the people who went before us, this is what a lot of them knew. You didn't come here to become a follower of any religion. You came here to leave your own legacy. You didn't come here to follow Buddhism or Jesus. I know sometimes it's hard. You came here to become your own Christ.
Teach.
And when you come to realize this, will you make the world a better place, or will you live it with so much trouble? Every single one of us is unique. This life is like a puzzle. We all fit in our own different ways. We'll bring something unique on the table, and we'll all have to fit in. We all have come here to assemble, to talk about success, to see how we can take this business to the next level. It requires a tribe, a village, to work in assembly, in a team manner, to be able to achieve that. You know, the human race was not born as individual. If God wanted you to be an individual, He'd have put you in different planets. But He chose to put all of us on planet Earth for a reason. So we can all work together. We all grew up in tribes where we spend time with one another. The number one cause of death in the world is not sickness, it's loneliness. We're all dying inside.
That's right.
That is why it's very important we come together. Even in a business like this, I know that we are all one. We're here to help one another. If one of us suffer, we'll all suffer. So it is very important for us to work as a team. No man is an island. They say our attitude will set us apart. Our ego will keep us in isolation.
Wow. Look at that.
No one knows enough to be a pessimistic. So we're all students in this life.
Oh, yes.
I want you to rethink why you are here. I want you to think. God gave you a brain, a mind. That's what set us apart. We say we're smarter than some of the other like animals. But a lot of us, we live such a mediocre life.
Right.
We pollute our bodies. We listen to things. We say we want to become better people. But we're not doing better things. Sometimes the greatest thing you can do to yourself is to be real with your own self. When you're real with your own self, you stop telling your own self lies. Life is but a dance. Life should be your playground.
Wow.
Don't limit yourself. You know, a lot of you were asking me how was I able to know what you're going through or dealing with. And I want to challenge you today to go inward. Every single culture say, know yourself. The worst enemy is the enemy within. They say if there's no enemy within, the enemy outside can do us no harm. So a lot of us were actually our worst enemies.
Right.
Stop being too busy for your own self. Some of us, we're spending so much time taking care of everyone. But start taking care of you more.
Come on, Bishop.
A lot of you are neglecting yourself, you're neglecting your health. You're saying you're in a healthy company, but you do not carry the sign of health. Don't talk. Human beings, we're mostly visual beings. We look at people. So I challenge you to do something. Push yourself a little bit more to be in perfect shape. Don't talk, oh, I'm selling a healthy product.
Well,
Become it.
Yes.
Oh, wow.
Because in becoming it, you need not speak. Because action speaks louder
Yes.
than words. And never forget this. You are all God's. Sometimes it's a concept that is hard for a lot of people to wrap their hands. If you read every single book, it tells us this, but we always want to push.
That's right.
When you are God, you respect every single person.
well,
You respect everything on the planet. There's small things that great people do to build themselves to greatness. Even when you go to the restroom, even though no one is watching, you pee on the toilet, you wipe it. Those small things takes you a long way.
Right.
Wow. Wow.
And when you start to cultivate this kind of small habit, even when we live here, and you see that housekeeper, you tell them, you are my favorite.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Right.
Because so often the least among us is not appreciated.
wow.
That's right.
We live in, look at us, we're sitting in a building that was built. But you know, most of the time, even the builders, they get no credit. If they didn't build this, we wouldn't be here. Start learning to give credit to the least. And if you do that, James was saying something yesterday. He said, most of us, because we're so envious of others, and we've not been given claps or applause, we don't give it to others.
Right.
But I want to tell you something. What you want to make of you, give it to others.
Well,
If you spend your time praying for others, I promise you, they said, when you seek happiness for others, you must find it. That's why most success people, sometimes they do not feel fulfilled. Don't seek anything for you even. That is why business like this, you see the leaders, they're coming from far because they know one thing for sure. If I make you a leader, then leadership will be for me. For whatever you seek for others, you must find it yourself. And if you live in this life and you are seeking, the sages say you must find. They say when you're knocking, the door must be open. These are laws. So if you write down your goals, this is where I want to become. It must happen because it is law. Most people do not believe. They say, I'm Christian, I'm Jewish, I'm Buddhist. But most of the time, they just want to choose the few things some of the teachers have done. I tell people, choose everything they've done and do it so you can become like them. The reason why we're not like them is because we're choosing the few. Jesus fasted. All great teachers, they learned how to fast, to eat less. They did not pollute their body. You never saw any of the teachers, whatever religion you belong to, smoking or doing anything, because this is the kingdom of God, your bodies.
Well.
Get a new respect for who you are. If you cannot read it, don't put it in your body.
Well.
Wow. Wow.
You are God.
Thank you. Say that again.
You are God.
Oh, my Lord.
But do you know that?
My feet just hurt.
The greatest thing ever created was this body.
Oh, yes.
We can do, have, be anything we ever desire.
True.
I'm here to serve if you need me. Thank you.
Thank you.